Hello and welcome to the Real-Esteem Podcast. Today is July the 23rd, 2019. I'm your host, Patrick Tabor, and today we're going to talk about following Christ. If you're accessing our podcast through any of our providers, Stitcher, iTunes, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Spreaker, please subscribe so you can get a notification when we make new ones available. If you'd like to listen to any old podcasts or get a copy of our book, Real-Esteem, Finding Your Identity in Christ, please visit us at enith.com, EYNIITH.com. Today, let's talk about following Christ, which may be one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your entire life. Why do I say that? Because you have to give of yourself. You have to release yourself to do it. You have to make a choice to do it. You have to be intentional. You have to be genuine. You have to give up or deny yourself. You have to follow him regardless of what it looks like. And a lot of times that's very, very difficult because you're not always in the driver's seat. You're not the one making all the decisions. Sometimes the decisions are made for you just by the lifestyle you are required to live. So today we're going to talk about following Jesus. And in Matthew 16 and 24, it says, "Then Jesus told his disciples, 'If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.'" So if you remember the stories, you know, how he found his disciples, they were either fishing or doing their normal jobs, and Jesus would just say, "Hey, follow me." And, you know, it was Jesus. So I'm sure there was a pulling, a draw. You know, he did say he draws men onto himself. There was probably this desire to follow him anyway. But, you know, they would look at their circumstances, but they would choose him. We have to kind of do the same thing. We have to choose Christ over our careers. We have to choose Christ over our wives and kids, our families. We have to choose him over everything that we want and desire. He does need to be the focal point for our life. And that's why I say it might be one of the most difficult things you've ever done, because you're choosing him over all these desires that you want and all these things. But the only way you can truly do this is to know that he's greater, to know that he's more, to know that, you know, having him is like having everything. And you have to not only believe that, but you have to really live that in your everyday walk, because what you truly believe is how you're going to conduct yourself, or your actions are going to say what you truly believe. Your treasure, where your treasure is, your heart will be also. So your treasure really needs to be with Jesus. So he would ask these people to follow him, and they would drop everything and just follow him, because I believe they knew in their heart that he was the real deal. He was not fake. He was genuine in every facet. He was the real deal. He was the Messiah. So they kind of knew there was something about him that was so different than what they had seen in the past. In Ephesians 2 and 9, it says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing. It is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast." So get it out of your head that you're going to work your way into this. There's no way. It's a gift from God. Your salvation is a gift. Being able to walk with God is a gift. It's an honor. It's a blessing to even be able to know him, because there's so many people who don't know him. They haven't found him, or they don't believe that he was and is and will be. It's really hard to fathom that there's going to be so many people who are going to not be able to follow him and go to heaven because they just didn't want to take that chance. They didn't want to believe in him. And that's the ultimate ending for you, is that you if you don't accept him, you don't get in. And I mean, it's sad, but you are not saved by your works. You are not saved by how good you are, or how good you look, or how good you smell, or how well you did today. None of that gets you in. We do not deserve anything we get. It is by grace, God's grace, that we're able to become and to be saved. I mean, it is not our doing. It is a gift from God, not a result of works. So get it out of your head that, you know, even the large amount of work you do, the amount of time and effort you put into what you do. That's not what gets you in. It's your belief and your trust and your confession that he is Lord. John 8:12 says, again, Jesus spoke to them saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. So in this, when we accept Christ, we're accepting the light of the world. We're accepting the truth of the world. We're accepting the honesty of the world. We're accepting everything that is in God. God is love, and we're accepting that by accepting him. And if you're going to follow him, you're not going to be in darkness anymore. You're going to see and understand things a little bit better. God opens our eyes to be able to see things that other people don't notice. It is a terrible thing to become numb to the things that happen in life. When someone is abusing someone around you, it should affect you. It should bother you because someone's being hurt. Well, Jesus himself opens your eyes to things that you may think have become normal or you've become numb to. I mess with or pick with my son because some of the video games that we play or he gets to play, I question the validity of it because it's really numbing him or if you will, dumbing them down to not have an emotional attachment to different things that happen in the games. It's almost like just a casual thing that occurs, and it's not. The things that happen, they're not just an instance and then you can just drop it. Same with Christ. When you've met Christ, when you know Christ, when he's spoken to you and you've seen things that he's done in your life, because you've accepted him, you are no longer walking in darkness. You actually will see things a little bit differently. And it is hard. I don't know how people do it yet. I don't want to ever find out, though, how it is to know him and then leave him, because he gives you the greatest opportunities, the greatest chances, the greatest blessings. He opens your eyes to so many things that you didn't see before. The protection over your life is extreme. It is overwhelming what he does to watch over you and your family and your friends and the people you pray for. The things he does for us is just magnificent. There's nothing it's amazing to me what he does for us. And I want that to be the experience for other people, but they have to accept him. So just remember, he's the light of the world, and whoever follows him will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life, but they have to accept him. So I'm hoping that you understand following him, it is a sacrifice. There is a requirement. It is a responsibility. It changes your entire life. It changes what is important to you. Your values switch up. The world tries to teach you from a child to think a certain way. But when Christ comes into your life, you get a new mind. You want the mind of Christ. He gives you revelation and understanding. He changes your focus and your view. You won't see people the same. You won't see circumstances the same. You'll see back doors opening right before your eyes where you thought you were trapped and couldn't get out. You will make mistakes, but you will not linger and dwell in those puddles of your mistakes. You can get up and walk away from them and be forgiven for that particular sin. Not to say that no judgment would come upon you, but sometimes you do get away with stuff that you should have been punished for because of God's grace. Just like the gift of salvation, there is grace and mercy that he gives to you daily. And when you get that, it changes your whole perspective, because you'll be like David. Who am I and my family that you are mindful of me? In other words, God, why is it that you care about me so much that you do all these great things for me, even when I've made mistakes, deliberate mistakes, and you still love me and care for me? He's giving us the blueprint of how we should treat other people, because he wants to show his love through us to others who have never seen how amazing he really is. I hope you got something out of this today. Be blessed, grace, and peace.